Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another review of What We Do in the Shadows. This is episode 8, and it's called Citizenship. Now, I would have had this review out sooner, but I had people over. Real life got in the way, and it was killing me. I really wanted to do it, but I didn't have time. I was too busy. So I'm back at it now. So I'm super happy because this episode was so good. So, why was it so good? Because it dealt with Jenna and her becoming a fresh new vampire. So, we start off by seeing her at her dorm in Staten Island Community College. And Nadja is checking out on her through the window. And she's realizing that she is becoming a vampire. And there's even a cool little scene about her showing her and looking in a mirror. And it's looking back at her, but like smiling at her and winking at her. It's weird. It's pretty creepy. Something you don't want to see in real life. Trust me. It would automatically, you're going to think The Grudge or something like that. So yeah, that's it's scary. So anyways, so she's sitting there realizing finally that she thinks she's becoming a vampire, and she's having a hard time at it. And she's basically eating like animals and having weird dreams, and she just can't get the handle of it. She's realizing that she has this skin phobia to the sun, which most vampires do have, except for Colin. But yeah, she's realizing she has that. So now we head over to the house, and they're having a meeting. And Nandor's trying to talk about some of the rules going on, and basically having people escorted out after they're done with them. And he's talking about turning out the candles before they leave. And Laszlo interrupts him because he smells a horrible smell, and it's Colin with a new kind of cologne shave thing that he found in his office, and they're trying to figure out why in the world would you wear that, and he goes, well, to annoy you, and they're like, oh, touche. Makes sense. Nandor's not happy about it because he's trying to talk about candles, and I guess he found out that his country has been dissolved. His country, how do you say it? It's Alcaldar. So it was this, I guess, dissolved in 1401. So Nandor's pretty old. So he's been around a bit. So he's very upset about that, unfortunately. So then we head back and we see Jenna, just struggling. And it's sad. And she's doing everything she can to I guess to be a vampire, but it's just not working out. And Naja is trying her darndest. She's watching her and just like, this poor stupid baby vampire. So you kind of feel bad for her. So now Nandor is going out to feed, and he goes to feed on this guy, and he doesn't feel like he lost his appetite. And it's just he's so disappointed that he has no home. His home of Alcaldar has been dissolved. So Guillermo, which is, I'm so proud I'm saying his name better now. I really am. I've had so many I had such a heck of a time at the beginning saying his name. Suggests to become a U.S. citizenship. And he's like, heck yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a U.S. citizen. So now they got to get ready for that. So Naja finds Jenna, and she tells him what's going on and why, she's feeling like crap. Is that she needs to feed on a real person. She needs to kill someone. And Jenna's not too happy about it, but that's what she's got to do. So back at the house, Guillermo's getting books and everything to help teach Nandor to become a U.S. citizen. And basically he found out that he was on his way to become a U.S. citizen, but he stopped. And it was in 1992, and he asked Nandor, well, what happened? Why did you stop? What? And he goes, what? In 19, why did you? And then at that point decide to become a U.S. citizen? And he goes, 5 words: Johnson, Jordan, Bird, Barkley, Ewing. Basically, the starting 5 for the dream team. And he was so impressed by them that he wanted to be a part of that. And then he stopped because the Macarena took over. So that's hey, sometimes like stuff like that happens. Dance crazes happen, and we forget what we were doing. So back at home, or same home, I'm sorry, they're trying to find out, or not just trying to find out what her special power is. So she's trying to, try to be seductive. And she bites her lip, seductively, and bites it too hard, and blood comes out. So obviously she's not going to be very seductive. So she asks Naja, what do you do? And she goes, I crawl. And she's really good crawling. So she shows her how she's crawling. And she just crawls up a wall. And he's like, see, just like that. So she tries to get Jenna to do it. And, of course, she falls just flat on her back, which brings in Laszlo. And he's like, what the heck is going on in here? And he's like, well, I'm trying to teach Jenna how to crawl. Who? It's Jenna. And he just insults the sin out of her. And she goes running off into a room. And Nadja's pissed off at Laszlo. And he's like, ugh. So we go back to where Nandor is being, I guess, asked questions by Guillermo. So he asks him, when were you born? And so we find out 1262. He was born in 1262, which is, holy cow, that's pretty interesting actually, that he was born in 1262. And so then they ask him, where is, Al-Khaladar, and it's in southern Iran. He's basically, yeah, you don't really want to tell him about that. That's just not a good idea. So, and so they apologize to Jenna. So they go to apologize to Jenna because Jenna is in a room, locked herself in a room. So Naja tells Laszlo, you need to apologize. So he does, and she comes out. So Laszlo's going to help make her a better vampire. So we're back to Guillermo asking questions. Basically, why were you driven out? Why did you leave Alcadon? He goes, I was driven out by peasants. And then he's asked him, were you ever married? He goes, yes, once. And it's like, okay, to 37 women. So I'm thinking maybe down the line that might come back to bite him on the butt. But who knows? We'll see. Ask him, who was the first president? Because George Washington was the first gay president. Because George Washington wasn't gay. He goes, oh, yeah. So, and he was back then. He was there. So, for all we know, he could have been. So, we're not too sure. And as they're asking questions, Jenna walks by, and Guillermo sees her, and she waves at Guillermo, and he is not happy because he wants to be a vampire, and Naja turned some just nobody into a vampire. So yeah, he's a little upset about that because he's been trying everything he can to be a vampire, and there's some no one who Naja decided to turn into a vampire. So they go off. Naja, Laszlo, and Jenna go off to find out, what she can do. So Laszlo's telling them, well, the easiest thing you can do is turn into a bat. All vampires can do a bat. So she goes, let me take my clothes off. So why? He goes, well, where do your clothes go when you turn into a bat? Which is a great question, which stumps Naja and Laszlo. They have no friggin' idea. It's like, don't worry about that. Let's just go do this. So they head to the roof. So up on the roof, he shows them how he turns into a bat. He goes, I just say bat, and he turns into a bat and flies off. Which is a funny thing. I love the way that he has to say bat to turn into a bat, and he does. So then she says bat and tries to turn into a bat, but she turns into this baby bat thingy that just is, they're like, what is that? They can't understand what the heck that thing is. It's just horrible looking. So now we head off and we see that they got to find out what her power is. They need to find out what it is. They can't, she's just, maybe she's just a dumb vampire, maybe never going to be exceptional. So they head off to a party with a bunch of dumb people there. And she says, you're going to find someone to eat here. And you're going to, basically complete your transformation to a real vampire and hopefully find her power. So as they're going in, she has to hypnotize these ding-dongs at the door. Basically tell him you're going to respect women more after this. So she lets him in, lets him do what he wants. So in the party they go. Meanwhile, Nandor and Guillermo go to immigration where he can get his citizenship, and he's got his Fab Five or his Dream Team shirt on. He's all proud of it. It looks so funny. So he decides he is going to hypnotize the interviewer, and it doesn't work. He's like it's like they have no soul. It's like they're dead inside, which is just fantastic. I mean, it's so good. So he basically is getting asked questions by this guy. What's the right to bear arms? And Nandor goes, if it's a nice day, you should have the right to bear arms. Which is right. If it's a nice day and sunny, you should be able to, show your arms. How many years can you be a president? He goes, 1,000. So we go back and at the party, and they're trying to find someone for her to eat, and she finds someone and tries to ask him, "How'd you drink?" And the guy's just not paying attention to her. It's like she's like, he doesn't even see me, And about this moment, I'm a little bit earlier. I kind of got this idea, but I went with it. So then here comes that ding dong that Nadja hypnotized back through, and she seduces him. And basically, he wants to become her sex slave and everything. But she says, no. She tells him basically to head on out and put your head down in the toilet and flush it 7 times. So, okay then. And so somebody bumps into them and pisses off Nadja. And she's like, "You just spilled your drink all over my friend." And he's like, "What friend?" And she's so mad. And Jenna gets so pissed because no one sees her. She goes, "What the heck's going on? No one sees me." And as she's barging out, she's just yelling, hooping, and hollering. She's pissed off beyond belief, and she poofs. She disappears. She's running around. She picks up a keg, throws it down, and they find out that she has the power to become invisible, which tickles Nadja to death. She's the happiest person. She's so happy that she has a real cool power. And Jenna's all excited. They're both excited, and she's poofing in and out, becoming invisible, and they're having a blast with it. It is the funniest damn scene. She's so excited that they can do that. And so finally they find someone to eat. And it's the guy who bumped into her. So she grabs him while invisible, drags him outside, right down the steps, then drags him into these little bushes, and decides to eat him. So, Nadja's so proud. And she's getting some for the road. She has a little cup or thermos or whatever. And then that ding dong comes back out and says he's done flushing his head. His head's all wet. She goes, fine, go eat brick. So she goes eat brick. And so we head back to the citizenship thing. Another thing they were asking Nandor, which I meant to say earlier, is the first 3 words of the Constitution. He goes, "Hey, you guys." Which is so, I think it's good times, I believe. And what was that? I know it wasn't good times. I don't remember what it was. I can't remember now. And then what does the Constitution do for you? And basically, he says, what does the Constitution for the people? Because it oppresses them. So we head off now to, he has to say the oath of allegiance. And he can't say it because it has the word God in it. So whenever he tries to say God, he goes, grr, grr, and finally he just blurts it out, and fire comes out of his mouth, and he burns his mouth. So he has to go cool off. And of course, he doesn't pass, so he heads out and tells Guillermo, "I didn't pass." He's all downtrodden and upset and mad. And Guillermo gets pissed. He's basically saying, "Look, you're a effing vampire. You know how many people would love to be effing you? I mean, you would love to be in your effing boots?" And he goes, "Are you kidding me?" And he's so mad. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Jenna's a vampire. And he's like, "I want to be one," but he's not telling him that. And he's just going off and trying to, get Nandor to understand, you're a vampire. And he's right. He's absolutely right. Nandor takes it to heart. And he's all proud. He jumps up on a car and is like, "I'm a vampire and I don't have to bow down to anybody." And Guillermo's all proud down there. And he's stomping on this car, sets off the alarm. And Nandor comes back down and tells him, it was kind of disrespectful way to talk to me, but you were right. So that was kind of a cool little moment. And then so we go back to Jenna and Naja. And Naja breaks the news that you you can't see the sun. Sorry about that, and Jenna didn't know this, so now she knows she cannot ever, 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 ever see the sun without burning up to a crisp. So back to Nandor and Guillermo as they're leaving. He goes, "It would have been great to be a citizen so I could buy a gun." He goes, "You don't need to do that. You can just get a gun." He goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, you can, and they'll sell anybody a gun." He goes, "Even in Alcadal," he goes, they would check if you want to buy a sword, they check your background. I'm just picturing that, way, way, way back in the day. What 1401? They're checking backgrounds. That'd be great. So back to Naja and Jenna. Jenna has the brilliant idea of wearing helmets, and tells Naja, "Look, I saw this in Blade." He goes, the helmets will protect you from the sun." He's like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "It's great. Don't worry." So they set up there on the roof, and they're like, yeah, this is great. So they sitting there talking how great it is, and Nadja saying, you are now an official vampire. You don't need my help anymore. And the sun hits, and the helmets don't work, and they they turn into bats. Well, Nadja turns into the bat, flies back in, and Jenna turns into that baby bat monster thing. I don't know what it is, and flies back in. So that's the end of the episode. So what's my opinion on it? This episode was so darn funny. I mean, I keep saying that in every review I do, but it's getting funnier and funnier, I believe. I mean, and the title is perfect, Citizenship. Well, you have Nandor wanting to become a citizen, of America, and basically they're trying to graduate Jenna to be a citizen, a vampire citizen, to be a full-fledged vampire. So it's a perfect title for the show. And it's so funny to watch Jenna go through her steps and how Nadja's like a proud mother. And she's trying so hard. And she was so great in this episode. Naja was so awesome in this. You didn't see a lot of Laszlo, but he was great too. I mean, they were all great. The one that you really didn't see a lot of was Colin Robinson, but he made his mark at the beginning. So yeah, this was an excellent episode. I'm so happy. I really am not happy that I wasn't able to put this out sooner. I wanted to, but again, real life checked in. I couldn't do it. But thanks guys for watching and listening. I do appreciate it. Leave a like if you liked what you heard and saw, and comment. Tell me what you think about the episode. I love this episode. It was so good, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of Jenna. I'm so happy that they showed her a lot here, and it was so good. So thanks very much, guys, and I will see you again here on the next episode, which is episode 9 of What We Do in the Shadows. All right, guys, I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.